What's up, everybody? I'm Christy, one half of In Love with Horror. And if you like horror movie news and reviews, be sure to follow us. So it is that time again, another month. It seems like September went by super fast. I don't know, but maybe it's just me. But at the beginning of every month, I share what movies you can look out for during the month. So October is a really big month for horror fans. So I'm excited to share these new upcoming movies with you. This will be part one of a two-part series. The next video, I will share what series will be streaming this month as well that you can check out. So after you finish here, head over to part two. So I'm going to also be sharing the synopsis of each of the films that I discussed, which is a little bit different than how I normally do it. But I think knowing what the movie is about is very important. So make sure you bookmark this video to come back to so you can know what to look out for. So first up is Appendage, which releases on October 2nd on Hulu. So the synopsis is Hannah, a young fashion designer who appears normal on the surface, but her anxieties and self-doubt at work spur a new host to take control of her body. As she feels a sense of inferiority among her peers at work and deals with a crumbling relationship with her boyfriend, the appendage stimulates her psychological weakness until she discovers that there are others like her. On October 6th, we have the following films. First up is Totally Killer, which will be on Prime. The story centers around Jamie, a 17-year-old girl who, after being stabbed by a serial killer one night, finds herself traveling back in time to 1987, where the infamous Sweet 16 killer left a blood trail after killing several women and vanished forever. Jamie, determined to stop the killer at any cost, begins by getting close to the victims. Also, we have Pet Sematary Bloodlines, which will be premiering on Paramount Plus. And the synopsis of it says, set in 1969, Judd Crandall, a young man with big dreams, intends to leave his hometown Ludlow until he discovers a malevolent secret buried in his family's cemetery. The sixth installment of the Exorcist franchise will be in theaters on October 6th as well. The Exorcist Believer is about a man named Victor who is a single father whose daughter Angela and her friend Catherine start showing signs of demonic possession. VHS 85 will be on Shudder also on October 6th. And if you are unfamiliar, VHS movies are anthologies, and the short films within this anthology are set in the 1980s. The films that will be included in the anthology consist of a TV crew fighting to survive a deadly natural disaster, a group of young adults on a skiing trip near a lake who encounters a supernatural entity, the scientific observation of a young boy who has an unhealthy obsession with his TV, and a nightmare miraculously caught on film that begins to manifest in real life, and finally an ominous warning from the early days of VR. The following films will be available on October 13th. So first up, we have Dark Harvest, which will be exclusively available through Alamo Drafthouse on October 11th, but you can watch it video on demand starting on the 13th. This is about a monster known as October Boy, who terrorizes the residents of a Midwestern town every Halloween by rising from the cornfields with a butcher knife and slaughtering anyone brave enough to stand in his path. This is based on a book by Norman Partridge. The Puppet Man will be available on Shudder. This is about a convicted serial killer known as the Puppet Man who continues to maintain his claims that he is innocent and had no control over his actions when he committed them. He is sentenced to death and remains on death row, but years later, his daughter slowly begins to believe his story after people close to her start to die in mysterious and violent ways. Also on this date, Dear David will have a limited theatrical release. The synopsis says that this story follows Adam Ellis, a former BuzzFeed employee who starts noticing weird things happening around his house. Adam soon discovers that he's being haunted by the ghost of a young boy who's possessed by a demonic entity. On October 27th, we have Sister Death, which will be available on Netflix. After a miraculous childhood, Narcissa becomes a novice and starts teaching girls in a former convent haunted by a disturbing presence. This is a part of the Veronica universe. When Evil Lurks. If you haven't watched the trailer for this, definitely go check it out because it looks really, really good. This is an Argentinian-based film, And the synopsis says two brothers discover a demon-infected man on his deathbed. They decide to kill him in order to prevent him from expelling the demon out into the world. They soon realize that their plan has backfired as other residents of their rural town begin to exhibit bizarre and violent behaviors. They must seek the help of a religious woman in the town to figure out how they can put an end to the evil entity. This will have a limited theatrical release also on October 6th. Also on October 27th, Five Nights at Freddy's will be available in theaters. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this movie is about, so I don't need to do a synopsis for it. I think this is probably one of my most anticipated films for the month of October, Hell House LLC Origins, The Carmichael Manor. This will be available on Shudder on October 30th. Investigating the mysterious unsolved murders and disappearances of the Carmichael family from 1985, two documentarians decide to spend 5 days and 4 nights inside the supposedly haunted manor that the family lived in. Through a series of interviews and reviews of the recovered footage, Hell House LLC Origins is unraveling what happened to the Carmichael family and what happened to the investigative crew who dared to stay there overnight. All right, there you have it. Those are our upcoming October movie releases. If there's something that I missed, definitely let me know down below. And also, of all the things I discussed today, what are you most looking forward to watching in the month of October? Go to part 2 for my series.